live, and it is the correct way this time. So that's awesome. If you tuned in last time, we were going the other way, like vertical.
It was very confusing.
And we spent the first like however many minutes of it being really upset that it was that it was the wrong way.
It threw me all off. But
Yep.
let's do it. Let's cheers.
But yeah.
Let's start it off.
Welcome to Let's Talk Books Unscripted. Hopefully you find your way to us. I know we're here on a Tuesday night, not on a Friday night like last time.
You may be watching the vice presidential debate, which
It's understandable.
that's cool too if you're into that.
Yep.
But
then come check this out when you're done with that, maybe.
this is our second live episode. It's we decided we're gonna go live every 5 episodes. We get live at 25. This is episode 30. So again, we'll go live at episode 35. And we film an episode about every week, so give or take every 5 weeks, we'll go live. And our last one went so well, we want to do it again. And we got lots to talk about, as always. Today is October 1st, which is the unofficial start of fall, I guess you could say. But
and spooky season. That's why you didn't ask me what we're drinking, but we've
what
got
are we
like nice pumpkins on our
What
beer.
are we drinking? Hold on.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh.
Let's see. All right, I turned the chat on. Okay.
It's on.
Okay. Cool. We're in. All right, so what are we drinking tonight?
It's an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Yummy.
The Great Pumpkin. I know we've talked about how we're really into pumpkin beer, so it continues.
Yep.
And if you want it, you got to buy it soon because it's going to soon switch over to Christmas beer
we were
already.
Talking about that in our last episode.
Which is crazy. But
all right, but let's dive in. We've got a couple piles of books here. I don't know which ones we want to talk about first.
yeah, so Katie's got some books that she got this week or last week.
This past week, yep.
A pretty good stack.
Yep. So on I think our last episode, I talked about a book that Corey grabbed for me off of Amazon and did it unbeknownst to me. So he was grabbing something else and just like added it was already in the cart, but like decided to buy one of the books that's been sitting in the cart for a little while. That one is upstairs because I did show it on the last one. So if you're curious and you want to see it, watch our last episode, but it's Given Our History. So it's a rom-com romance with a lovely fall cover. But then he decided to literally buy every book that I had in the Amazon cart. So he was feeling rather generous. So I just randomly got like 6 books recently. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do for my birthday then in December?
You caught me at a good
time. So yeah, I can go through them just really quickly. The only one here that I would consider to be, or no, there's 2 that I would consider to be like good, spooky season reads. Is Dead Woman Crossing by Geneva Rose. I am obsessed with her. We've talked about her a lot, but I have not read her detective series yet. So this is just the first one in the series, so I will definitely need to get the second one. He probably would have grabbed the second one for me if it was in the cart, but they don't have it on Amazon for some reason.
That's crazy.
So I definitely looked a bunch because I've had this one sitting in the cart for a really long time. But the second one in this series is not available through Amazon, so I'll have to get it elsewhere. But yeah, I've been really interested to read it. I've heard really good things. I've loved everything that she that I have read so far by her. So I'm sure I will like that one. And then The Butcher Game is the sequel. Oh, gosh, that's really bad. Sorry.
One's shiny.
The Butcher Game is the sequel to The Butcher and the Wren, which I just read recently. So that was a September book for me. I read it like in August and finished it up right away in September. But yeah, this looks really, really good too. It looks pretty short, just like the first one. I think it's a little bit longer. But yeah, this is a nice hardcover. The other one that I have is paperback, which I don't really care when they don't match like that. Sometimes I do, but no, I really, really enjoyed The Butcher and the Wren. I'm sure this one's going to be great. It left me on a cliffhanger for sure with the first one. So I don't think I will wait too long to read this, although I have lots of other books on my TBR that I want to get to. But I have a feeling I'll still read this during, the October-November season for sure. Although thrillers are really honestly great no matter what the season.
For real.
And then let's see, what else do I have? Lucky Charm. This, I don't know, I hadn't really heard of this author until more recently from somebody else on Bookstagram, Anne Marie Meyer. So I think she is more of an indie author. I don't know that she has a whole lot out, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I was really excited to see it on this person's Bookstagram because I think she like got a PR box for this book or something like that, and she was showing it off, and it's basically like a Taylor Travis story. Like she's clearly a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce fan.
Wow.
So this is kind of like a football like romance rom-com. So yeah, so I'm really excited for it. Oh, see, it even has a microphone and a helmet in the front. That's pretty cute.
Very adorable.
Oh, see, right in the front. To Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, thank you for the inspiration. That's her dedication. So that's pretty cute. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to read this before football season is over. It'd be appropriate. And then we've got my girl Sarah Adams here, who I've really started to like. This one's called The Match. I have the book 2 in this little series, The Enemy, coming to me eventually from Goodreads. I won a Goodreads giveaway. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get that book. But I was like, well, I need the first one. So I added this one to my Amazon cart, and this is called The Match. She re-released these books. So this is like a newer cover than like the original. And then I think it has like bonus stuff in here too. So I'm excited for that. I'm still slowly working my way through When in Rome, even though I do really enjoy it. But it's just I keep getting distracted by all these other like scary or other reads. But I am going to finish it. I did make some more headway in it last night, I think. And then this is called Love Light Farms. This will be a good one as we get closer to Christmas. I'm sure sometime in November I'll read it, or right away in December. But yeah, let me know if you've read this series. I've heard lots of good things, so I'm sure I'm going to want to read the rest. This is the first one in a series.
Nice.
So she has like, what are the other ones called? I don't know if they're listed in the front. Nope, I don't see them. Oh, she has like an excerpt from, I think, the second one called In the Weeds is another one. So like, yeah, I can read like the first chapter or something at the end of this one. But Love Light Farms, cute for Christmas season. So I'm excited. Yeah. So that's all those.
Pretty cool. So we got a couple people on right now. If you want to comment in the chat and say hey, say who you are, maybe say what you're reading or drinking or eating.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
I think the chat's on. You checked on that, right?
I'm also checking to make sure it's on. So
yeah.
So one of the books we touched on last episode was the book we're reading for our book club on Friday. So today's Tuesday. Our book club is on Friday.
Yeah.
And we are reading this book here, In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune.
And we both have a long way to go.
I think we're
both
halfway. About a third of the way done, which isn't bad. I mean, this is a 400 plus page book.
It's going to be a little bit of speed reading as we get
so we were kind of talking about our strategy earlier of what we should do, We'll obviously the goal is to read it by Friday. But it may come down to maybe listening to part of it. I may have to listen to a little bit of at work if I can't get through. I could listen to it at work a little bit, maybe Thursday and Friday. So I was looking on some of the apps to see how much I can get it for on audiobook. But what are your initial thoughts? What are your initial thoughts on this book?
I like it.
Yeah.
I definitely am intrigued enough to keep reading. Like, I think it's like starting to get more interesting now, and the pace is like picking up. But I also just think like it's gonna have like a really sweet story or like message to it, because it is kind of like a Pinocchio retelling.
Yeah,
is essentially what
for
it
real.
Is. Is anybody saying something? I can't see anything. Okay.
Hold on.
I don't know. He's messing with things.
Can someone comment so we know if the chat is working? That'd be excellent.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it's working. But yeah, this book's really funny. I think it's
yeah, it does have like humorous parts to it for sure.
One of the characters is a robot vacuum.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there you go. Meg, thank you. You have the same book on my TBR. This book here, In the Lives of Puppets. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you for.
Or maybe some different, or do you have different ones? I don't know, from something we already showed. Or
Yeah,
is it this one?
thank you for commenting. So we knew.
We were like, a couple people are watching, but we didn't
But
know if the comments were
there's-
like on.
One of the characters, his name is Rambo. He is a vacuum, a robot vacuum, and he is super funny.
Mm-hmm. He is really funny. Well, I feel like they all are. I mean, all the robots or android or whatever, because like the way that they talk.
Yeah.
Like I'm basically like doing the robotic voice in my head while I'm reading.
All the books you showed
All
earlier.
the books I showed
Well,
earlier. Awesome.
Well,
Well, we have similar tastes then.
You must have good taste then. Excuse me. But yeah, this one's really good. But we have our work cut out. We each have a
We're both reading it. The
a
same
double
copy.
bookmark. I've kind of
We
been
each have a
like
copy.
keeping up with each other. Like, where are you? I gotta get to your spot. So, but book club is on Friday, so
We're gonna be down to the wire on it. I don't like doing that, but like I said, I get distracted by other books,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I always like I make it work, but you know I don't know. Sometimes depending on the book, I have it finished earlier, but it just like depends on if it's like shorter or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm like if I can't put it down. And this is one that like I can put down, but I mean I'm anxious to get back to it still and like see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely liking it.
I really like this book.
Mhm.
It's not really it hasn't really like hooked me in.
Yeah, it's not super
yet,
exciting really yet.
but I have a feeling it's gonna get there.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a point where it's gonna be okay because I can kind of see where it's going.
Well, I think it's like it's heartfelt too, though. It's not like
It is
supposed to be a completely
yes.
action-packed book. I
It
think
is
the
heartfelt,
thing,
and
so.
as of now, there's not too many characters. There's only 5 characters.
Mhm.
4 are either robots or androids, and then Vic
Mhm.
is the lone human.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But we have our work cut out for us. So next week for our episode, we can update on how that
Yeah,
went for us. But
yes.
please root us on because it may come down to audio/reading or both. But
That's that one.
with that being
And-
said, we have another book club book to read
Mhm.
and to
Which
start
neither
soon.
of us have started.
It is for our virtual book club,
Mhm.
which meets on the 20th, right?
Mhm. October 20th.
So anyone listening, you may be in the book club. So
and if you can somehow still get your hands on a copy of this book,
you know what we're talking about.
good luck to you. But you are still more than welcome to join us. Or maybe it'd be easier for you to find it on audio if you want to listen to it. But
So that book club book, that is this one. We used to live here, which
Mhm.
I have a feeling you probably have seen this book around at the socials because
yeah,
it is
it's
very.
been really hard to find. I don't know. Like
and
it
it-
keeps like selling like all of the
It is a little thinner,
Mhm.
and I
Selling
think
out.
this book is probably more up our speed.
Mhm. Well,
So
it's gonna be more.
it's-
Yeah, I feel like
and
more gripping and probably a
The
little
people
faster
in our
paced.
book club who have read it already have said it's obviously really good and really easy to get into.
Yeah.
So obviously we're gonna finish In the Lives of Puppets by Friday, and then we're gonna each start on this one. So we'll be.
Yeah.
I finally found a copy a couple weeks ago. Right.
Oh, nice! Yay!
I actually saw a copy on Facebook Marketplace recently for $10.
So
I was
somebody
like,
read it and was done with
so
it. All right.
you can find them, but I think that just says how good this book is.
It's gotta be.
How hard if you can't find a book, that means it's really good,
Mhm.
and people are really reading it. So we're excited to start this one
Mhm.
because
Yeah, I've
I'm
been staring at
excited.
it for a long
And
time. I've been wanting to start it, but I've been purposely putting it off so that it can be like really fresh in my head.
this is like
For
the
when we talk.
perfect October book,
Mhm.
and I have a feeling it is going to actually scare me. And I don't get scared easily, but this premise is something that is kind of terrifying to me,
Mhm. It's
and
pretty creepy. Yeah.
so I'm excited about that one. So we got 2 book club books to read,
Mhm.
and we'll see. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let us know if you're in a book club. I know I've tried to
Yeah.
say that before on previous episodes, but if you're in one and you're not a part of my virtual one, but you want to be, like, because yeah, I've got an in-person and
It's
virtual.
still time. The
Let me
20th.
know.
The 20th.
If you can't do this one though, like we're gonna be meeting again virtually in December. So right now I'm doing like every other month. We'll see if I switch it to every month and see if people want to do that. But I already do every month for my in-person one, so I was kind of trying to like space it out a little bit more for me anyway, for my sake. But if you are in a book club and you enjoy your book club, you should let us know and like what kinds of books you read and
Mhm.
like if it's a smaller group or
The Love
Oh,
of My
The Love of My
Afterlife.
I
Yeah.
love that book. So
That's a good October book too.
Yep,
Yeah.
so good with the magical
Yeah.
realism and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about reading on a timeline, on a deadline?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a
what
big
are what are
question.
your thoughts? Because I want to see how these go, but especially for you and me, we're very into mood,
Oh yeah, I struggle with it.
and like I don't want reading to be like something
A
I
chore.
have to, or like reading a certain book something I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're like saying we have to read this book
Mm-hmm.
by Friday, and like I don't know.
I mean, we don't have to, but
We don't
I
have
feel
to.
like I have to because it's my book club.
It stresses me out because I have exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is dead on, and especially if there's other books that you
That
want to
you'd rather
read
be
more.
reading. Yeah. And
Like
then
I would
then
actually
put in-
rather be reading this one,
Yeah.
or like my
Something
Stephen
else.
King book I'm reading right now. But I do like that's the thing. I like this book, but it may be a book
That
in
you would
different
take longer
circumstances
to
I would
read.
read over time because I do like it, but it's kind of outside my normal genre.
Yeah.
Where you know
Well,
I'm kind of into
that's why I struggle with the library too.
Exactly.
Not that I am dissing the library. We've had an episode talking about that, but like I love that so many people use the library, but I struggle because yes, I love buying books, and then I think some people are like, but why do you buy a book if you're not going to read it right away? And I'm like, well, I like to have it for when I am ready for it. And then let's say I'm ready for a book, and then there's like a ridiculously long wait at the library. Well, then I'm upset. So like that's my way of thinking about it, that I'm like, well, yeah, there are going to be books that I buy that I don't read
Yeah.
immediately, but then there are some that I've been waiting to read, so I'm like, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to read it, and I don't have to wait for it from the library. Or like, yeah, I pick out a book that I'm excited about, but that I want to be able to like take longer to read.
Well, that's an excuse to buy books on a deadline.
Exactly. Whether it's the library or a book club, it's like you're
It's
reading on a
true.
deadline.
So yeah, this is kind of my first time reading a book for a book club with the Into Lives of Puppets, and I'll do it again. So I'm gonna see like
Because he doesn't normally. I've had my book club for almost 2 years, my in-person one, and this is the first time he's going to participate.
It may
in a
not be
conversation.
for me. We're
Yeah.
gonna find out because, but we'll see. You know, I could if it was a book I was really into, there would be no problem. You know,
Right.
but we'll see. We're gonna see. I think
Yeah.
it's a good experiment.
Good experiment.
Because upstairs we have a room. It's our reading nook.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of videos on Instagram if you've seen what it looks like. But we finally filled up a whole shelf of books that
Read.
have been read.
Mhm.
Like we filled a whole shelf with books that have been read. Either you read them and I read them, or we both read them, which is pretty cool.
You're part of several book clubs, so yeah.
Like the challenge. Oh,
Yes.
yes,
And
that's
still
true.
having room for movement.
I can see
yes.
that too. A challenge, and yes.
Yes.
And then I like that. So what I was saying, we filled up a whole shelf of books we've read, but to put it in perspective, we have equivalent of 3 of those shelves of books we haven't read yet.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. We have a lot of books we haven't read yet, but we like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard the phrase, or I don't know, it's not a phrase, but like that you need 1,000 books to consider
To
have
technically have a home
library. You counted last week our books, right?
Yep, and between the two of us, for like, so not counting our children's books, because we have 3 kids, for those of you who don't know that, Corey was like, no, don't count the kids' books, even though like I guess technically they should be counted because they are books.
Correct.
But I think even if I were to include the kids' books, we still would not. But like, just between the two of us, we don't even have 500.
We're like-
so I'm like, we need some more books.
We're nearing the halfway point.
Corey helped me out a little bit here with like, grabbing some out of my Amazon cart recently, but
So if you have 1,000 books, you consider to have a whole library.
You do,
So
but
that's amazing.
I technically do not yet, and it is a goal of mine.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna need about
Slowly but surely.
a couple more shelves, but we just got a pretty cool rotating bookshelf sent to us from a company that was really cool.
Yeah.
It probably fit like 100
I
books.
didn't even count when I
50
was putting
books?
them on. I'd have to count.
Yeah.
And then you have 650. That's
Ah.
awesome. Don't do a face plant whatever that emoji is.
No,
That's awesome. You're not getting any judgment from us.
You
got to
get 1,000.
That's like my goal is to have a lot, even though many people are like, you should get rid of your books, after you're done with them. I'm like, no, I want to keep them.
1,000 is a good goal. I mean,
my goal is to keep books, not get rid of them.
I mean, you do need space and shelving, but we have books just everywhere.
Make it work.
Yeah. We have books everywhere, and we just keep finding shelves or whatever. But we do have a whole shelf of books we have read, so that was a sweet accomplishment.
Yep. And now they can continue on to the second shelf that's up in the nook. It's kind of driving me crazy because it's empty now, because we were using it for books that we had not read yet. But now that I just got a new rotating shelf for free, which was pretty cool, I moved them down to that. Yeah. And then so most of our unread books are down on this level, but we do still have little itty bitty shelves that are on our wall in our bedroom. Yes. And then some on my nightstand, which has a little cubby. We both have and those are unread, but the majority of them are down here now. Yeah, we got 2 shelves behind each of us here. These are our main shelves. Then we have the rotating one, and there's books just scattered everywhere. I've talked a lot on Instagram about the 2-to-1 ratio. It's something I came up with. We're probably more of a 3-to-1 ratio, which is even better. So 3 books unread to each 1 book read. So that's a 3-to-1 ratio. So that's good. Yeah. The 2-to-1's ideal, but you want to have more than that. It's actually even better. All right, why don't you show this little book you're holding from the library? So speaking of the library, I brought this up on our last episode, and Corey was like, yeah, you're not going to read that. But I am going to prove him wrong, because audiobooks count as reading. I'm not going to physically read this. I'm going to let the library have this back, because the length of this intimidates me, and I have lots of other books that I want to read. It's kind of a cool edition, though, isn't it? But it is a really cool edition. Oh, it's a Penguins book? Yeah. Yeah, so it's really pretty. Yeah, that's kind of a neat edition. So it's almost I kind of want to own it just for my shelves. But speaking of owning books, you have to find it sometime. I would want to find one. Yeah, well, pretty sure I've seen this at Barnes & Noble. So I could go to Barnes & Noble and buy it. There's a bug in here. Instead of having it from the library. But I will give it back for somebody else who might want to physically read it. But no, I'm going to give it a listen on audio and see how I like it. And that way I can still be reading other physical books when I get the chance to sit down and do that. Because I just have a feeling this isn't going to be one that I want to do that with. And it's just because classics are hard for me sometimes. It doesn't mean that they're not good. They're just a little slower, at least from my experience. Yeah. And I have not read a lot of them, so I can't say that that's the case for all classics. But just that they move at a slower pace, and I think it'll help me to be able to listen to it, while I'm, running errands or doing chores or whatever, because I've never read Anne of Green Gables, and I think I should, especially during the month of October, because there's that popular quote from it saying, I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers. And I feel that's all you know from it. I feel like I can't share that every year, and I do, because I see so many people make cute graphics out of it and share it, and I share it in my stories as if I've read this book before, and I never have. So you have not. I need to finally do that. Never read it as a kid or a teenager or anything. So I mean, you always see those classics at Barnes and Noble, and they're really nice editions, and they're so appealing. But, you see all the classic books, and oh, that would be really cool to have. But I think I'm gonna give it a listen. I'm on a little bit of a wait from the library, but not too long, so I should still be able to listen to it during the month of October. Yeah, and this would be one of those books you just read slowly over time, Which is why I would need to have my own copy. Correct. And I would like to read it to my girls someday, so I feel that would probably be a worthwhile purchase. This one looks a pretty quick read. It's bigger print. It's a smaller book, bigger print. Margins are pretty large. Yeah. But, yeah, I think, I'm sure if you've read it, you've probably read it. I know, I feel like I'm in the minority sometimes with the whole class. I don't think I'll be reading this one, but Katie can keep me and keep him in the loop with it. And then let's see. What'd you show? I guess I'll talk about one more, and then you have one that you just finished. Yeah. So this is one that I just finished. The Return of Ellie Black. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly, but I think it's Emiko Jean. Seems right. And I'm trying to think if this is a. No, she is the author of a couple of young adult novels. Okay. But I'm wondering if this might be her first official adult novel. But it was really, really good. This was another one that kind of helped me get out of a little bit of a reading slump because, like, not that what I read in September was bad, but I wasn't like obsessed with any of the books that I read in September, or I should say most of them, you know? So I would feel like the standouts for me from September were The Spell Shop, which I sadly do not have to show you. It's going to be another one that I think I need to buy because I totally regret not buying it. I got that one from the library and it has like the most beautiful purple sprayed edges. It's like one of the most gorgeous books I've ever seen. And then the author just announced that she has another book coming out next year. So I feel like I'm just gonna need to buy both of them because then that one has like turquoise color, like sprayed edges, and they're just beautiful. They're stunning. So The Spell Shop was a delightful read, by the way. So I wish I could show it, but you've probably seen it all over the place. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about it. It was just like, it felt like a warm hug. So yeah, since we're talking about books I just finished, that was just one that I finished recently that I just can't show because it's back at the library. Or probably in somebody else's hands. But yeah, this one was great. It was pretty short. I feel like mostly short chapters, which I live for. This was the best. I think they do still kind of call it a thriller, but I think it falls more into the mystery category than a thriller. But I mean, I think it still was thrilling. Like I felt like I was like definitely into it, and the pace was quick enough for me. It kept my interest. Yep. I feel like any book that has like a detective in it, like we're both like pretty interested in that. So I mean, I feel like you should read this eventually because I think you would like it.
You didn't spoil it for me,
and I didn't spoil it, so I feel like you should read it. Sometimes we
spoil books for each other on accident.
Yeah, but maybe I subconsciously didn't because I thought maybe you would like it.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I think it had a very satisfying ending. It definitely had a twist that I didn't see coming, so that was really good. But I recommend this one for sure. I enjoyed it greatly. So it was kind of from like more of the detective's perspective, and then it had not as many chapters, but had a few throughout that were from Ellie's perspective, the girl that was abducted and returned, and you learn about what happened to her, which, content warnings, I mean, there's some pretty grisly stuff in there. Like, so it's, you know, child abduction, sexual abuse, and a really quick scene, but that rape is like sort of described. So I do want to say that just in case that's not something that you want to read, but it wasn't like in depth and in like a lot of the content. It was a pretty brief like experience of it, but
our spider fell.
But yes, so it had some kind of like dark content undertones, but I felt like it had a pretty like redeeming ending, satisfying ending. It was really, really well written. So I have really good things to say about it.
Yeah. Cool. So every time before we do one of these episodes, I always go to our shelves, our multiple shelves, and there's always books that I'm drawn to. That's kind of how I choose my books. You've seen some of our reels. I just stare at my shelves, and there's always one that I'm drawn to, or a couple that I'm like, I keep eyeing up. So I grabbed 4 of those books that I'm drawn to that I hope to read at some point soon. Probably not this month because it's spooky books time, and we got our book club books, and I'm reading a Stephen King book that I really want to get through by the end of the month. I grabbed 4 books that are ones that I keep getting drawn to, or like I'm interested in reading. And funny about the one I'm going to show you, I just saw recently someone was reading it, and there's a sequel.
And it's called The Sequel.
So this is the plot. This is a book, The Plot. So this is a book about a book. And it's kind of debated like if the storyline was stolen or whatnot. But I found this book randomly when we were visiting her family in Iowa. And we went to like a used bookstore, coffee shop. And this is the one I chose. It was kind of random. I was like, this one just seems good. It was one of the 100 notable books of 2021. But I just saw recently there was a sequel called The Sequel. So that's why I was like, no, I got to read it. Because there's a sequel. And I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot about this book. But now that the sequel came out, I'm starting to see it more. So it's that's kind of funny how that works. But this was one I'm interested in. There's a reel where I'm reading it in a lazy river. If you've seen it, check it out on this Instagram. So this is one that Katie can vouch for. It's been on one of our shelves in our bedroom. we were talking about the shelves we had in our
For an
bedroom.
embarrassing.
And every time I go look at the shelves, I'm
long
always
amount
like,
of time.
grab this book, and I really don't know why. I honestly don't know why,
It has a good cover.
but I'm drawn to it.
It's
I've
really
read the
slim.
synopsis like 10 or 12 times because I keep reading the synopsis. But it's this book, We Are the Light. It's the book of the month book by Matthew Quick. So he wrote the Silver Linings Playbook.
I
So
loved that book. You've never
Yeah,
read it.
we've
But
seen the movie like multiple
Yeah.
times, but he wrote that book too. So, and obviously that was a really big book, a huge movie, and so this
Yeah.
was one. This is just one that I'm drawn to, and I can't
Have
always
you read it?
explain
Let us
why.
know.
So if you've read any of these books, please let me know because I want some validation, and maybe tell me if I should or should not read it. But I just have this thing that I get hooked into books, and usually they've been really good. I mean, a lot of the books, like I'll stare at the shelf behind me for a while and just like, this one looks good. I'm gonna read it. This one I'm not sure if I'm gonna read, but it's one that's drawing me in, and this version is an advanced reader copy, but it did come out in May. It's The Ministry of Time.
I won it, like in a giveaway or something.
Yeah.
So.
So if you've read this one, let me know. It kind of is out of my normal genre with the time travel and kind of, you know, history.
Yeah. I know, I'm kind of like, but I was like, hey, it's a free book. And like, I have heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't heard like anything like
So this is one
terribly
you've
bad
read.
about
Yeah,
it,
definitely let me know because it's one that it's another one I
but it has a
haven't,
really cool
I haven't
cover,
heard
for
a
sure.
ton about, but it's very interesting to me. Just based on the premise is very interesting to me.
So I think there's
Yes,
kind of a
which
couple different
which
things
that is
happening.
cool because we're in a lot of different genres. So that is another one. And the next one is one that Katie actually found in a little free library.
Good find.
And once you
It's
see it, you'll be
hardcover.
impressed. Hardcover, popular book.
It's in good condition.
And this is one that is talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say good things about it. But it's tomorrow, and tomorrow. So if you've read this one, let me know. But I, obviously know it kind of as a video game.
Which neither of us are gamers, so I'm
Which
kind of like,
we're not gamers, but I
know,
don't think
but
you need
you
to
don't think
be
you need to be to enjoy it.
to enjoy it. But this was a great little free library find. We've found some pretty good books in little free libraries.
And yes, we have also put books in the little free library. I
Yes.
don't just take.
We're very
So, yeah.
generous, but yeah.
Take a book.
If you've
every
read this
month.
one, let me know because this is definitely one that I'm always looking at because it's very attractive cover binding. I mean, eye catching.
Pretty cool looking.
And I think I just heard so many good things about it. I mean, I am someone, I think we both are, who get influenced by other people. You know, like we try to influence other people to read books, but we get influenced by other people that we
Yeah.
follow. And if I see a lot of people talking about a book, I'm going to pick it up. Or if I see it, or if I find it at a bookstore, I'm going to buy it. And this was one I would have bought. I have read that one. It's pretty good. Okay. Pretty good. I'll take it.
Pretty good.
That is a good enough review for me. But so those are 4 that I'm hoping to read,
Yeah.
at some point.
Soonish. Maybe in November.
Yeah.
Since you're not going to read a bunch of
I mean-
cutesy Christmas books like I am.
There is one Christmas book I want to
There's
read
one.
from an author I've read before, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, Mood Raiders, October, I'm reading a Stephen King book. I got The Lives of Puppets, and then We Used to Live Here for book club. So
Yeah.
those are going to be my main focuses. But there are other ones I
Yeah.
want to get to, but you can only read so many books.
I know.
And that's
Yeah.
that's
I
a
made
bummer.
I made a funny, because it is funny. I mean, I can laugh at myself. I made a reel this morning on Instagram showing off, like, I don't even know how, I didn't even count how many books that are like my October hopefuls. And somebody commented and was like, that should be more for like October and November. And in my head, I'm thinking like, no, that's more like October, November, January, February, like, because let's be real, there's no way I'm
Yeah.
reading all of the ones that I put in there, but it's fun to dream. That's what I always say. And you know what I did say in the description? I was like, I know for sure I'll read this one out of all of the ones I shared.
Yeah.
I will 100%, I can tell you that with 100% certainty that I will at least read this one in October because,
Well,
you know. it's a
that's
book
why
club.
you call them hopefuls.
They're hopefuls. It's like
you
I
have
hope I get to
books
them,
you
or
hope
some of them.
to
Yeah.
read, or
Yeah.
like there's books
Or I
like
would like to.
that are on your radar, but you're not promising anything.
Yeah, there's no
You
promise.
know, like that's why with the book club it's different because we need to read it by the deadline.
But I also really want to read that book. If we
This-
were not doing that for book club, I would still be reading it.
100%.
Because
100%
I've
this
been looking
one.
forward to that one for a long time.
And so that's what's fun. That's what's
But
funny.
yeah, it was
And
hilarious. I don't even know. I didn't even count.
I don't
It
think
was
we're
way
the
too
only
many.
ones who do that. Everyone
like,
always has
Good
the
joke.
the
good
hopefuls,
joke.
and they're like, I'm not gonna read.
That's like hopefuls, as in I will probably read 2 of these.
Well,
Yep.
it's important to set reading goals,
Yep.
and you have to keep buying books
hmm
so you have more hopefuls.
You
to
have
add.
choices. Yeah.
You know, you
have
got to
lots
get
of
that
choices.
library. You got to contain that 3 or 4 to 1 ratio,
hmm
or else you're doing it wrong. Just kidding. There's no wrong.
There is no wrong. Just read books. Doesn't matter where they come from.
Yeah.
Although it is nice to conveniently have your own selection that you can choose from.
You
whenever
can see
want.
behind me. We got these lit bookshelves. We just
You
got.
can't really see mine.
You kind of see
Sorry,
the
if I
lit
go
bookshelves.
like
We just
this.
got these this summer. They're actually very old.
Mhm.
And we live in an old 1928 house. So we find these bookshelves, and they're backlit just a little bit,
Mhm.
but they're really awesome.
They're really nice.
So we got them both full. So these are both full of books
Almost
that
full. This one's not totally full.
we still need to read.
Mhm.
And then we got the new spinning bookshelf, which is
That
pretty
is
cool. She just put the reel up on Instagram of the spinning bookshelf we got. So you want to check it out, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can. It's not a paid partnership with them. They just like asked me if they could send me a free shelf, and I would like do a reel to advertise for it. So I don't get any kickback from it or anything.
Mhm.
But they did still give me a code. So if you are interested in it, they're giving like 10% off your purchase. So
Yeah,
that benefits you.
that benefits you.
And my benefit is that yes, I got a free shelf. So that was pretty exciting.
yeah.
And it came like super quick, by the way. Like I'm pretty sure it came within like 2 to 3 days
Yeah,
of
okay.
them shipping it.
I saw the doorbell,
So that was pretty impressive.
and I was like, we're going to package. I had no
Yeah.
idea what it was.
I will say it took me a little longer than I would have liked to set it up, but it's also because I am
Yeah.
challenged in that way. So
Yeah.
I will say if you are more experienced in putting things together, maybe it won't take you as long. He was busy doing something else, otherwise I would have made
I
him
was
help
painting,
me.
yes.
But I stuck with it and got it set up, and I was proud of myself. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Can you hand me Misery?
Sure.
Let's see where I'm at on. Yeah, so one of the books I put on the back burner because I'm reading the book club books is the book Stephen King's Misery. And I keep talking about this one. I'm going so slow through it, which is such a bummer because I'm really into it.
Mhm.
And I'm halfway through it. I want to read it so I can watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then
We gotta watch
I
it
really
during
want to
spooky
watch the
season.
movie this October. That'd be amazing. But I'm about halfway through.
Mhm.
And it's starting to get really good, and I know the ending is going to be amazing because I have heard good things about it.
Mhm.
So this is one I had on the back burner because of the book club books, which is a little unfortunate.
Mhm.
But this was definitely one I will finish. I can't promise, but I'm going to finish it in
Hopefully by the
October.
end of the
Like
month.
by Halloween, I'm going to knock this one
Well,
out.
that means I gotta read it. You just added another one to my TBR because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna watch the movie without reading the book
That's
first.
true. She won't watch movies without reading the books.
I almost 100% refuse. I have a really hard time doing
I
that.
can go either way. But
Maybe I can try it on audio, but I bet you anything there's a super long wait for it with
I don't
Libby. I could check it out
don't
and
know.
see. But
So this has been my first Stephen King book, and I don't think it'll be my last one, just because I do like it. I mean, I do agree he is very wordy, because he's an excellent writer, but
likes words.
he obviously has a lot of really good ideas. I think the next one I've heard I might want to read, and it kind of terrifies me, is Pet Sematary.
Yeah, I've heard pretty good things.
I think
about
that'd be the next one for me to read after Misery, because that's the one I've heard also a lot about.
it. Yeah.
And that one does intrigue me, but it does terrify me. The idea of that concept is kind of terrifying. Because we have 2 dogs and a cat. And I don't want to I have to read the book first. I'm like,
Yeah, see? It's hard for me to watch something without
Mhm.
reading the book first.
Yeah, ideally that is the right
Mhm.
idea, but I'm not opposed to it. Katie's opposed to
I
it.
feel like I've honestly, I would say there really has not been a time where I did that on purpose. I think the
Mm.
only times have been when I did not know,
Mhm.
where I literally did not know it was a book, and I watched it and was like, "What? It was a book!" And then I'm like
Yeah.
super upset because I wanted to read the book first. And I'm like,
But yeah, like,
but I don't normally do it on purpose.
the thing is, like, the minute after I finish this, I'm gonna want to watch the movie so badly. especially since it's if it's going to be right around Halloween-ish time. But I'm kind of sad because when I started off really hot with this book. I started off like really quick.
Yeah.
I got through the first like 150 pages pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then like I had to transition to other stuff because of the deadlines. But I'm gonna get back into this one, and I think the ending will go just as fast once I get into it.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah,
What
I
else-
think that's
what
what
else do
all
you
we
got?
got. I don't know.
What about more? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I could talk about this one, I guess.
Are you gonna,
I'm gonna do this one on audio too. I was like, I had such high hopes when I grabbed it from the library, like when it was that last week. I don't know. It was like,
Yeah.
because I did talk about it in our last one, and I was all like, I'm totally gonna read Anne of Green Gables and this one, and I'm like, funny. So the issue here is that I don't, unless this takes place in the fall, which I wouldn't know until like I start getting into it, if they even say when it takes place. I'm just being super picky about that right now, and it's because I'm a mood reader. So I'm kind of like, I wanted to read this in the summer, and because that didn't happen, now it's fall, and I'm just like, I have other books I would rather read more. So at one point, I did put a hold on it for the audiobook, and I canceled it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it physically, and now I'm like, why did I do that? So now I placed the hold again for the audiobook, and I'm going to be waiting a long time, but I'm honestly fine with it because I'm like, I'll get through all my spooky and cozy fall reads, and even if I have to wait until like early next year to listen to this book on audio, that's fine. But I have heard a lot of good things about this one, so let me know if you've read it. It's called Margot's Got Money Troubles. I've heard it can be really relatable in some ways, except for her choice of career. I mean, maybe this is my age. I don't know, or I just don't know things. But I had never heard of OnlyFans until this book came out. So I was like, what's OnlyFans? So maybe you know, I did not know. But that's like what she does. What does that say? A bold, laugh out loud, funny, and heartwarming story about one young woman's attempt to navigate adulthood, new motherhood, and her meager bank account in our increasingly online world. From the Penn Faulkner finalist and critically acclaimed author of The Knockout Queen. So, okay, wow. So she's the child of a Hooters waitress and an ex-pro wrestler. Says Margot Millets, always known she'd have to make it on her own. So she like enrolls in college, it says. So she keeps a baby that she did not mean to get pregnant with. So it looks like she's only 20. So that might be hard for me to relate to just because I'm in my upper 30s. But like I was 21, so you know. So, but
that was like an eternity ago.
You're right. But it looks like it's, you know, it's pretty quick. But yeah, I'm not going to read it physically. I'll get this back to the library so that somebody else can pick it up. Because see, look at this is the death of me too when it says it's a short loan. I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, no.
Yeah, short loans.
Like, it's just, it puts the pressure on me even more, you know? And I'm like, I'm going to be reading other things, so I'm going to give it a go on audio. Maybe it'll surprise me and become available sooner. Sometimes that happens where I get like a nice surprise and like I don't have to wait as long for the audiobook. But I'm okay waiting. I'm sure it'll be good whenever I get to listen to it.
She handed me my other book. Okay. Yeah, so I just kind of started reading again, like it was probably like a year ago, where I really got back into reading. And I read a book called Shark Heart, which I absolutely loved. It's still one of my favorite books that I've ever read. That was the first book I had read in a long time. And that was kind of the jumping off point for me reading. And then for some reason I got like on a romantic comedy kick. And that was like all I wanted to read.
You've veered away from it.
And I read a couple romantic comedies. And there is one that I got in my hand here that I did start, but like I've kind of lost. Oh, I've shied away from romantic comedies. Not because I don't like them anymore, but there's other things to read. But the one I started reading, I'm not far in, is this one, Rent to Be. And I have bought a couple rom-coms that I really want to read soon. But this one, I liked it. It was actually really funny, a little more crude than some of the other ones I've read that were a little more, I don't know, closed door.
This one doesn't seem like it's going to be.
This one seems a little more, I don't know, it's hard to say. But Katie's like, you gotta just shelf that book and be
You
done
do.
with it.
Because
And
I'm sick of staring at it because you're not reading
and
it. So I'm like, please put it on the
she's
shelf.
probably right, because here's my bookmark. I'm,
You just need to accept it.
like, is that even 15%
and
done?
maybe it'll call to you someday, just like the other books that call to you, and then you can pick
Yes,
it back up.
but it's very hard because I'm really into it. And there's another couple that I really want to read. There's one that you bought me. It's called "I Got My Mind Set on Brew."
Oh right, it's
It's
a beer.
Enemies to Lovers takes place at a
related.
brewery. I'm like,
Yeah.
that just sounds so
I
good.
know, with the beer
But
aspect.
Maybe after I read the Christmas rom-com, maybe it'll get going for me. It'll be past spooky season, but I'm not gonna shelve it. I'm not gonna shelve it yet.
To give Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez a try
Yes.
too, though. Man.
You know,
One of these times we're gonna have like an epic reel made out of it, or a video where you finally read one of their books, because
there was one I was thinking about reading this summer, but
those are the best.
What was the one I was gonna
Beach read.
I was gonna read Beach Read this summer.
But now summer's gone, so
So
unless you need like a beach read in the middle of winter, which is sometimes kind of fun.
I think this is still like pending in my Goodreads. I'm reading it, but we'll see. Because I did like it, but you just lose interest.
The part that you liked. I mean, the part that you read.
Like
you liked.
you obviously go through phases with reading. Like right now, we're in like a thriller, mystery, horror phase, and that's cool.
Slash cozy things for me. Like I'm kind of like into the magical
You're in the
realism
cozy,
and like magic, but also yes, the scary stuff too. I'm in like a combo.
But I definitely had a rom-com
Those
phase, and I
things.
read like 3 or 4 of them, and they were cool. They were
Share
awesome.
your favorite genre in the comments.
Yeah. Or what are you reading now?
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
are you
it's
reading?
October.
Do you care about like what the season is, or are you even like, I don't even know what I would call that, because maybe I'm not a mood reader. I'm more of a seasonal reader. Somebody said that in a comment on a reel on Instagram, I think, where it's like, and that's true, because like, yes, I'm a mood reader, but I feel like my mood is determined by what the season is. It's almost like I can't physically read a beach book right now. I'd be like, no, thank you, because it's fall.
Yeah.
So
I think the mood reader is kind of based a lot too on just how you're feeling like each day.
well, right. That's why I have like multiple books going at a time.
And that's the
because
thing,
I'm
like-
like, oh, I don't feel like reading that right
Like
now.
at
I wanna read
certain
this.
days, I'm drawn to certain books, and
Mhm.
so it definitely is a mood. But your mood can be based on the
I
season.
was gonna say, I think it can kind of be like.
But you
both
could be
things.
reading 5 fall books or horror books, but you're gonna be drawn to one each different day.
Yeah.
You know, it's based on your mood. Like if you're in a sour mood, you might want to read a rom-com, or
Right,
the
you
vice
need to laugh,
versa.
or
Or you
something.
want to read a horror
Something
book because you
serious.
want
Or something scary.
something scary.
Yeah.
But I think we're both in the mood for something scary right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think We Used to Live Here is gonna be like perfect for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We got a couple people watching. If you have any questions for us,
Yeah. Let us know.
you know, we want to try to keep this to about an hour. We got about 13 minutes to go.
We don't need to talk for 13
We don't have to, but if
minutes.
someone has any questions, we can just chill here and stare at you.
Yeah, because that's not awkward.
But our pumpkin
But,
beer is good.
yeah,
you know.
it's pretty good.
What do you drink?
Yeah. You drinking
I
anything?
don't know if everyone's
or-
into pumpkin beer like we are.
Are
We
you
might.
into pumpkin flavored things in general? I know I brought that up.
I heard on the
last
radio
episode.
today is
Apple
pumpkin
or
spice day.
pumpkin? Well, nice. But to me, I'm like, pumpkin spice is every day for me.
Yeah,
in the fall.
we discovered, it's kind of random, but we discovered the pumpkin. What is it? Pumpkin iced coffee at McDonald's.
Oh, it's super good.
$1.99, and it was
Yeah.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we're
You
spending
want to save
$6
a little,
at
you wanna save a little
Starbucks.
money, man. Starbucks.
But I was like,
doesn't
let's get this
need our
pumpkin iced
money.
coffee. It sounds pretty good, and it was
Neither does
excellent.
McDonald's, but
It was really good.
they don't need our money, is what I was saying. I'm like, oh, neither does McDonald's, but you know, but
That's
it's
true.
cheaper.
But
At
we have
least.
couple local coffee shops that
That
have
we
good,
do like to support.
that
but
have.
yeah, they're
I think
plenty
our local
expensive,
coffee
too.
shop, Seth's Coffee, has one of the best pumpkin
Yeah, I
lattes.
don't know. I can't decide if I like their pumpkin one more than Starbucks, but like it's different and it's not as sweet, which I do like about it. Not quite as sweet.
What is
Yeah.
our other local coffee shop, Tempest? I just saw they had, what was it? It was something cardamom latte. It sounded
Yeah,
so
cardamom
good.
is
Cardamom
good.
is
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like cinnamon, but better.
Yeah. What's your go-to fall beverage? Do you do tea, or if you're not a coffee drinker, or something else. I've been wanting to try. We have a Tom's Drive-In really close to us. I don't know. Is that like a here thing or like a Midwest
It was
thing?
founded in Wisconsin, so
Okay, so depending on where you are, you may not know what I'm talking
it's a
about.
drive-in, yeah.
But it's a drive-in. It's like a burger, you can get burger joint chicken, all kinds of stuff. But they also have like ice cream treats and stuff. And I still haven't gotten one, so I'm kind of nervous that they're not gonna have it. So I probably should do that soon if they still have it. But it's a pumpkin like milkshake, and that sounds really yummy. Because I like so many different pumpkin things. But
yeah.
yeah.
Last night we were reading our books. We made some hot tea,
Some tea,
which is kind of out of the ordinary for us. We don't
We're not
really
big
like
tea
tea. We're
drinkers,
trying.
but-
We like.
But I want to try to. It just
we
has to be the right
aspire-
tea.
We aspire to be tea drinkers, but we drinking our tea, reading our books. It was pretty nice.
Mhm.
And like
the
yesterday
cozy
in
bags.
Wisconsin, it was still really warm. Like we were almost in the 80s in Wisconsin.
know.
And today
Cool.
it hit October 1st, and we had 65 degrees, sunny with a little breeze. I mean, you can see like back here. This is our screen porch. We got the screen open. It's like chilly air coming in.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. Good stuff.
It has hit the fall weather, and the whole week looks like that.
Well,
So-
it's gonna be, I think, a little
Well, like,
more in the 70s.
Upper 60s, low 70s with sun, which I think that's pretty nice for fall. And that's I think the average for us is around upper 60s
Mhm.
at this time.
Yeah,
We had a very unusually warm September.
yeah. I wasn't really a big fan. Yeah, let us know your ideal weather. Are you a fall person, or do you like
Yeah.
other seasons more?
Show
or-
them your shirt.
Oh yeah, my shirt. It says Books.
Books.
Yep.
That's a class.
Pretty fun. I've had this one for like a couple seasons now, I think.
Yeah, people always comment
I
on
think I
it.
got it like two falls ago.
It doesn't matter when you're wearing it.
I
People
like it.
always comment on
Yep,
it.
people notice. It was perfect
I mean,
for
it's
for
a
October
ghost and it says books.
hmm
I mean, that's just amazing.
Yep, it's a fun one.
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. The spider.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in live. If
You've shown them this more than once. Yeah, in case
know,
in
it just
case you
keep,
really want a
this is our
ugly
buddy.
decorative.
This is our buddy, buddy the
I don't know
spider.
where it
Our
came
dog
from.
keeps trying to eat it. Cute shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we love it. It's a cute shirt.
But I think we'll sign off. We've talked long enough.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's obviously you'll be able to watch this video too later on.
Yep,
So you have
we'll
any
still be up.
comments? If you have any comments you want to drop, obviously we love comments. You need to
Yes,
leave the
we
comments.
like questions.
Hit
so
that
maybe
thumbs
we
up
can-
button.
If we didn't answer it tonight,
Mm-hmm.
we can answer it on our next episode.
Yeah, so we obviously film an episode every week. It varies which day, but it's generally every week.
We try to, yeah.
And those are our main episodes, and we're gonna try to do this live episode every 5 episodes. So
Yeah.
tune in every week. If you want to hit that bell so you get notified when we have new episodes, because we've noticed we have some people who always watch our videos, and it's pretty cool. They always watch them. They always comment. Sometimes they drop questions. We can answer them. If you leave a question, we will answer it well, not live, but we'll answer it during our next episode.
I mean, if you do ask one on like a regular episode, and then our next one happens to be live, then yeah, we could answer it live.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Definitely want to tune in.
We like people ask questions because we can answer them in our next episode. Kind of something to talk about. We generally have like a main topic, and we show books we're reading.
Ones we want to read.
And I always have my
ones we
hopefuls.
finished. Yeah.
Finished, yep, hopefuls, and then obviously we get updates on our book club and how we're doing or not doing
Yeah.
on some of the
not
books we're
doing.
reading. Being a moderator is hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a-
if you're not a mood reader and you read on a schedule, man, I wanna know what that's
Yeah,
like.
one more thing before I sign off. So last year, Kitty had this idea. She's like, I want you to do that thing where you pick out books and you wrap them.
Yeah, have you ever seen that?
I spent like
It
an
looks
hour
really cool.
picking up
Doing
books,
it with the kids.
wrapping them, and then you write the month on it. So the idea is the first of each month,
You open a book and
she
you read
opens
that
a
one.
book
During
and
that
you
month.
read it, whatever it is, and it was a fail.
Pretty sure I made it like the first 2 months of this year.
And like it's so cool. Like we see people do that on Instagram. It's like that looks like such a good idea if it was not us.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I read Shark Heart, which happened to be the January book. And so I was like super excited because he loved
Well,
it.
that book was excellent.
And I was like, oh, great. Okay, I'm going to read it. Like, I didn't care what month it was. I'm like, that'll fit into whenever. So I'm like, that's great. Then I opened like the February one. I honestly couldn't tell you what it was. I don't remember because maybe I made it through March. I don't know. But I feel like I did not make it very far at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made I didn't do a reel. I think I just did it in my stories. But I showed like me unwrapping all of them and just being like done with that. Like I had like Taylor's, anti-hero playing I'm the Problem, It's Me. Because
It was such a fail.
I was like, I wanted to do it so badly, but Corey's like, you're not going to do this, right?
Well, it seems like a good idea.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Or like
yes.
people will like, you should have a jar, pull
And
one
you
out of the
just,
jar.
Like, pick it and you read
I'm
it.
like,
And
that
I'm like,
sounds
oh,
good.
No.
There's no way I could do that.
Nope.
But it's like that works for you.
I wish I could be like that. I'd have to change, and I just don't know if that's ever going to happen.
That's true.
So.
And that's why it's
realistically
gonna have multiple books. And it's like, I won't read a book. I won't buy a new book till I read the book I already just bought. I'm like, oh man.
That's willpower.
You are a hero.
It's like, wow, I want to be like you when I grow up, yeah.
Yeah. Teach me how to do it. But that's that. I had to share that because that was funny.
That's
We're not
funny.
going to try that again this year.
No, it's just, it won't happen. So
I mean,
I shouldn't even try.
I played along. I wrapped the books and I picked them out.
But he was like, we had the kids like go around and like take them off the shelf and stuff too.
Yeah, like I think one of them was like nonfiction.
I was like, no.
Oh no, what have I done? I mean, nothing against nonfiction, but
yeah,
you definitely need to be in a mood for that.
Yes, and I listen to nonfiction pretty much exclusively. Like I don't pick up a nonfiction book very much at all, unless it's the Bible. So, yeah, I just don't.
You need to definitely be in the mood for a nonfiction book.
Yeah.
I got one of the biographies I got kind of recently was Alex Trebek's biography. The Answer Is, it's called.
Yeah, you want to read
like,
that so bad, and then you've not touched it.
I love Jeopardy, and I love that show, and I really want to read it. And I think I bought it when we were traveling in Georgia.
Yeah.
I had to find it. I was like, I gotta find the book by Alex Trebek. And I did find it, which is pretty cool. But it's like, I want to read that so bad. Mm-hmm. But who knows when I'll do it?
Yeah.
Who knows when I'll do it?
Because you gotta do audiobooks sometimes.
Yeah.
He has a better opportunity to do them even more than I do. Because he's a mail carrier, if we didn't share that before. Mm-hmm. So he's like by himself in his truck for the majority of the day, which sounds amazing, by the way. I love my daughter.
I wouldn't say it is amazing. It's kind of boring, lonely.
Well, that's why an audiobook would keep you company.
I listen to the news.
I don't know, but yeah, it's not like I can sit and just like tune out my child all day. So like sometimes I can listen to an audiobook, yes, and I do like the one ear thing. Like I'll either put an AirPod in just one ear so that I can still hear my child. Or I will not even use AirPods if she's like downstairs playing and I'm up here just like doing chores or something. But yeah, it's not like I have like 7 hours uninterrupted that I can listen to.
That'd be a concerning ass.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm gonna resort to that for our book club, but we'll see. I think I will like it. It's very hard to think about paying for an audiobook.
But that's how a lot of people read their books. They just do it differently. So.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time doing that because I like to own the book.
Yeah, which we do. We already own it.
I know, so it'd be hard.
So I guess like we'd be paying for it
It'd be very hard to own it then on audio, but
that's okay.
I could see myself liking it though, because I have been
listen to podcasts, so
I've
it's
been
not that
listening
different.
to I listen to the news at work or like talk radio.
Yeah. Libby, yep.
Libby is good, yeah.
However, I looked for this specific In the Lives of Puppets on Libby because I was even thinking I might want to start listening to it too, and it was not available. Not for a very long time. It was like a several month wait, so that wasn't going to work.
Libby is awesome.
But he does not have a library card, so you should get one because then
we gotta
you
get
can
one.
listen for free.
So then we can have double double chance of getting books on Libby. But
'Cause
Libby
I
is
have I have
yeah.
a library card, so I use Libby and Hoopla.
Libby is good if you don't have like a deadline or like you don't need it like this week.
Right.
You know, if you don't mind waiting 400th in line or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
our sister-in-law was like, yeah, I'm like 2042
For
in line
whatever.
or something. I was like,
it was not that, but it was a ridiculous.
and me and her are thinking like, just
go buy the book.
like we love buying books, and we have people in our lives who don't like to buy books, and they're like,
Just so this wasn't for a physical book. Yeah, she was just gonna like wait.
Yeah,
like, no.
like,
It was for Iron Flame, and I ended up just buying it for her for Christmas because I'm like, I know she's not gonna go buy the book, and she's gonna wait an eternity to read it, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. So
yeah, we did.
I bought the book twice. Once for her and once for myself.
It's not for everyone buying books, but we never really understand people who refuse to buy books. Like we're trying to build a home library of 1,000 books, and there's people like
they just don't. Well, it's just not a priority. It's like
I can't
they just
own
want to
a
read them.
book.
You know.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. They have
But
their
no,
own
I
priorities.
just had to laugh at her because I'm like, you want to read it that badly.
Yeah,
like,
Katie's
and
like,
you are willing
yes.
to wait an eternity to read it?
Like she'd
Like,
still
what?
be waiting now, like,
when like
a year later.
When like the newest one is like coming out in January, so
Yeah.
I don't know what she's gonna do.
So like we like buying books, and they're also a great gift, you know. If someone's like, I need a book, have you read
One Star Romance? I actually just got that one recently from Book of the Month. And so, no, I have not read it yet, but I got it recently. I don't know when I will read it, but I'm feeling like after the holiday season. So I would say after like spooky season and probably Christmas, but it is one that I do have on my radar that I'd probably like to read soon into the new year. But have you read it and liked it? Yeah, I've heard kind of mixed reviews on it, but I'm interested. It's an enemies. I think it's an enemies to lovers one.
Yeah, it's kind of a cute premise.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, got a cute cover, and
you know,
but I'm definitely interested in it.
Obviously, we kind of can predict how the story's going to end, but
yeah,
who knows though?
Yeah,
who knows?
It does have a really interesting premise. I think only just saw this today when somebody did like little reviews of it, that it has like a COVID storyline. So I don't know if it like takes place like
interesting.
I don't know. Like I don't know how it would take place in the heart of the pandemic if like people were not really like seeing each other or if it's just that COVID is mentioned in it like a few times. But let me know because I thought that was interesting, and I guess I was kind of like, why is that a bad thing? Like it almost seemed like it was like the person thought that was a negative thing. Where it was like too much of a focus or what? I don't know.
People are trying to forget about it.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let me know if you have read it and you liked it. Maybe I'll have to bump it up sooner on my TBR.
You do have it.
But I do have it.
That's why it's in the queue.
Yes.
The queue is long. Like we don't
queue.
need to wait. We don't need to wait 500 people to get a book because it's in our queue. If you have your own library, you don't need to wait.
Correct.
At the library.
Yep.
And they don't have those shiny covers, which
those darn shiny covers. Oh my gosh! Yeah, these.
I mean, or the little
blinding you right
the
now.
barcode. There's a lot of positives to having your own library.
Yes, we're really trying to sell it.
There's a big negative where you spend a lot of money.
Where your wallet doesn't like it as much.
But if
we like it.
Get it as a gift, you win it.
Yeah, that's always good too.
Like if you ever win like a Goodreads giveaway.
Man, which I was starting to think that those didn't happen.
I know. Well,
and I finally did.
You're
but
still
I still
waiting
don't have
on the
book, so that's interesting.
I mean, I've been entering a ton now. I'm like, I gotta win one. I gotta win one. I gotta win one.
They do say that it takes a long time, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
So yeah,
and
I'll believe it.
Sometimes they give away like
I actually get
50 or 100 copies. So, like the chances are decent.
Yeah, but there's some where like there's not very many copies at all, and I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna win that one, but I still enter it anyway.
Well, some of the newer books is like 20,000 people entered.
Yeah, it's like
or you can find a book in a free library.
A free library.
Like this. I mean, that's a win. Or like we went to the library. We went to a Friends of the Library book sale like last month, and we found some pretty good books. Like we found some decent books, and they were all like $1 or $2 each.
I mean, I wasn't all that impressed. I think you found better ones than I did.
We were probably an hour late to it.
Yeah.
Like if we would have showed up right when it opened, I think it would have been better.
But there's another one happening somewhat close to us in November that I'm gonna want to check out. So I've heard that one's pretty good. But yeah, we would have to go like one of the first days for sure.
Yeah. And people always tell us to like go to the thrift store, and Katie was just at Goodwill recently looking for books, and like
there wasn't a lot,
the
and
prices
they were
are
kind of
high.
too expensive for a
It's
used
like going
book.
to a used bookstore where
Like
like
I would rather just buy it brand new at that point.
$7, $8. I mean that.
The one I got was less than that.
Well, that's
but
good.
Still, yeah.
But we do have a couple bookstores. We have a couple
I guess
thrift
it was
stores around us that like
$6.
you can find them for like $1 or $2 or $3, which that's a good deal.
Yeah.
And like there's a thrift store in our neighborhood that like is known to have the rich people donate to it.
Yeah.
And like we found a lot of nice name brand clothing and stuff there.
Yeah.
And you know they've had some decent books too. Like they, you know, you read it one time, like I'll donate it, and then like score,
All right.
$3 hardcover book, almost brand new.
Yeah.
You can't argue. So you don't always have to buy books brand new.
Right. Yeah.
That is
You
amazing.
can shop on more of a budget.
It is amazing, and we're very huge proponents of shopping at indie bookstores.
Yes, we like to do that. When
If
we
you're
can.
able to, because
We don't do it every time we buy books. Yes.
it's
but-
amazing, and there are some good bookstores.
Yeah.
But we're also we'll buy books anywhere.
Yes, equal opportunities.
Yes, if there's a book, we'll buy it anywhere we can find it.
Right.
Just in the side of the road, if it's sitting there, I'm gonna take
I
it.
would hope not. If somebody did that to their book, I would
I
be
know. I
sad.
guess I've never found a book on the side of the road. Not yet. All right, that's our cue.
Yeah, we're gonna end this, but thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching.
If you were not able to watch live, then hopefully, yeah, you're tuning in later and watching the playback or whatever you call that, replay.
Yep. Drop a comment.
this.
Leave your friend. Tell your friends.
Leave your friends. This is definitely
Well,
time to.
if
be
you need
done.
to read, you gotta leave your friends.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
true, that's
It's time.
true.
All right.
But we will talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching.